Obi-Wan Kenobi series. They announced the cast of that series.
Yeah, I saw. I didn't really pay much attention to it, but I saw that they released the cast. Yeah.
So you got like Joel Edgerton, who played Owen Lars back in Attack of the Clones, and he's done loads of stuff. Actually, he's done a lot of horror thriller films, which you would actually like. What's it called? The Gift. You ever seen that?
I haven't seen The Gift. That's one that I've been meaning to watch for ages, but no, I haven't seen it. No.
That's really good. That's a very good film. He's done loads actually. He's like really talented. He directs a lot of stuff, writes a lot of stuff. He was in that film Warrior with Tom Hardy. You ever seen that?
Yeah,
the MMA film?
Of course, I've seen that.
Yeah, love that film.
It's actually a decent movie, to be fair.
It's quite a good film. Who else? I don't know how you say his name. Kumail Najani, whatever I think his name is.
Okay.
He's the guy who's in the Eternals. He got really ripped.
Yes. Yeah.
Asian guy. He's doing loads of stuff. I think he was in Silicon Valley.
Cool.
Yeah. So I mean, and obviously you got Hayden Christensen, who's going to be, and Benny Safdie, the Safdie brothers. They did Uncut Gems.
It's a pretty good cast, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a surprising cast. And I was thinking, do you know what I'd rather see in an Obi-Wan series? I'd rather see a Darth Vader series.
Would you actually like to see that, yeah?
I would like to see a series set between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope. Yeah. And see what he was getting up to. Because he killed all those children in Revenge of the Sith. So I'd like to think he, wasn't that horrible a bloke. And maybe he was had a few things going on upstairs in his head during that time, and kind of what was he getting up to? Was he solidifying his position under the Emperor, or was he, losing control? And I think that's a series to more dive into, sort of his psyche during those 20 years.
I think we'll get a little bit, learn a bit about his current psyche during this series, surely.
I hope so, because I've been reading. It's called, I think it's called Darth Vader Dark Heart of the Sith, something like that, and it's set between Empire and Return of the Jedi. Cool. So obviously straight after he told Luke he was his father, and he's dealing with sort of the outset of that and thinking, maybe I went a bit too far there, cutting off his hand and watching him fall thousands of miles to his probable death. Could have handled that maybe a little bit better. And it's kind of, like he's having to prove his worth to the Emperor. And I've read comics set between New Hope and Empire, which is a really interesting time for him because obviously, he fucked up a lot. The Death Star got blown up, so he's, again having to prove his worth, and he is an asset to the Emperor. And I think it's a really good series they should make, really. I think there's a lot of places you can take it, because it's like 20 years set between Revenge and New Hope.
Yeah, that'd be wicked. I'd love to see something like that. I get the impression, though, that they're going to want to move on from that sort of stuff relatively soon, right?
I'd imagine so, yeah. Because, you think all the Disney stuff, except for obviously the sequel trilogy, has all been, set between... set in the original trilogy, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously they've taken most of... all their... what they're basing all their new films on is based on sort of original trilogy, and is homages to it. Force Awakens is just a New Hope.
Yeah, it is literally just the same thing, beat for beat, but still a good film, though.
It's one of my favourites. But yeah, I just think, that 20-year period, you can set it like an action series where he's just going across the galaxy, hunting Jedi, showing the Emperor that, he should keep him around, because, he was pretty mangled and fucked up at the end of Revenge of the Sith, so I can't imagine the Emperor was too interested in keeping him around. So he would have to, in some way, prove he was a worthwhile asset. This huge mechanical man.
If they get a good reception, if he gets a good reception, Hayden Christensen coming back in this, they'll more than likely do a spin-off. They more than likely will, won't they? Let's be honest.
You don't even need Hayden Christensen, though, do you?
No, it's true.
I'm curious
to see what... I wonder how they're going to use him in this. I reckon they'll probably do some like flashback scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, but then again, he's aged 15 years.
Oh, they can sort that out. That's not a problem.
He did get a lot of flack for those prequel films because he is not very good in them.
No, he's appalling in them, but at the same time, I do think that some of the stuff he was asked to say was just awful. Like,
don't like
the
sand.
script. Well, the script was appalling, particularly for Attack of the Clones. Like, appalling. I mean, how do you deliver that line in a way which makes you feel enthusiastic about sand? Like, it's a hard fucking thing to do, isn't it? Like,
I like his delivery of "I slaughtered them like animals."
He's got so many. He's
got so many iconic lines.
Revenge of the Sith, there's quite a few as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of
what's he got in Revenge of the
Sith?
Sith? Anakin, the Chancellor, is evil. From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Jedi are evil. That's awful. And I'll tell you the other one, which I always don't, I never like, when he's got Dooku in front of him, and Sidious is like, "Good, Anakin, now kill him." And he's like, "I know I shouldn't." It's just such a terribly delivered line. Like, it's awful. You see what I mean, though? How the scripts really weren't great, were they? The dialogue was not great.
Yeah, but you can deliver the lines a little bit better, though.
Well, fair enough, agreed.
Yeah, but I mean, well, while I was reading that Darth Vader comic, I just thought, do you know what? That it's such an interesting period for that character and how he develops, because you like to think, you know, a lot of fucked up shit happened to him at the end of Revenge of the Sith. You know, he felt he killed his wife, killed his children, and like, where's he go from here? Is he, you know, is there doubt in his mind? And I think there's more to develop of that character between that period, because in New Hope he's just, you know, angry, fucking up people, and Rogue One he's chopping down rebels in a hallway. Like, how did he get to that period? Because it all happened so sudden. And I think you can right some of the wrongs in Revenge of the Sith, because I hate that scene where he kills the children. I don't think Darth Vader was that evil. Like,
I like that. I like that.
What are we going to do? What a scene.
Incredible scene.
But I just don't like that. He's just, you know, an unremorseful murderer of like little children. I
understand that. It kind of makes, at the end of episode 6, where he essentially brings balance to the galaxy a bit, like, you don't really feel for him, because you're like, you've slaughtered so many children. Like,
exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
he's not really redeemable at that point.
No, exactly. He's past the point. Yeah, he's past that point.
And I just think, you can right some of those wrongs by saying, you know, you can look at the conflict to that character and how everything, you know, got on top of him. But then I guess you could say he's gone so far down this path that now it's like, well, actually, I'd probably best stay with the Emperor because he's going to win. So I may as well just keep doing what he's doing and hunt these Jedi and fuck them up. So I mean, I think that's a really cool idea for a series. You know, something that could go along with the Obi-Wan series. Maybe they will dive more into that character and like where he's at in his headspace. But yeah, reading Dark Lord of the Sith is a really good Darth Vader comic. Just cool. He's just sitting there.
I know I'm just echoing what you're saying, but it would be cool, like you said, just to see that character develop a little bit more. Like, I feel like, especially in episode 2 and 3, like, the character development of Anakin is actually appalling when you think about it. How he goes from just nothing to this extremity in such a quick period of time. Do you understand what I mean? Like, doesn't develop very well, does it?
He's just written as a bad egg from the start, and then he just goes, "Fuck it, I'm gonna murder everyone in my path." And it's like, you're not showing that character doesn't really regret much of what he's doing. The only other time he shows regret is when he chops off Samuel L. Jackson's hand, and he's like, "Oh, what have I done?" And then Emperor's like, "Don't worry about it." And he's like, "Maybe I won't then." And then he just goes, because then he's like, "Oh God, what do I do?" And he's like, "Look, don't worry about it. Go to the Jedi Temple, kill all the children." He's like, "Fair enough." And then off he goes. And that's I think that's pretty much the next scene we see him in.
No, you're right. That is the next scene you see him in.
Near enough. Yeah. Then he's just storming the Jedi Temple. I was like, well, you went from 0 to 100 pretty fast there.
Yeah,
mate.
It's literally like, I'm pretty sure 5 minutes before that he was on his knees going, "What have I done?"
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes later he's just killed a primary school. Like, it's fucked.
So yeah, I think that it's far more interesting. You look at that character and like his conflict, because I've read so many Darth Vader comics, and it's so much more interesting to see that conflict to the character. And he's like, and most of the time it's like, "Look, I'm so far gone. What do you want me to do? I have to keep going. I can't do much more because the Emperor's the Emperor and he's winning." And I think that's something you can look into, that 20-year period of where, because in the comics set between New Hope and Empire, the Emperor wants to get rid of him. So he's making him fight all these new apprentices, and he's like, look, if you win, you can stay with me, but if you don't, fuck you, really, because you're just some big mechanical man. You're a bit useless, aren't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just something I thought on the fly.
No, it's cool.
Yeah.